Hello and welcome to Business Matters, the show about people behind businesses that help make Tacoma a great place to live and work. I'm your host, Mike Work, and on today's show, we'll feature a downtown Tacoma cafe specializing in quality coffee in a welcoming community environment. Andrew Fry reaches out with a touchy business question: quality or quantity, which is better? And with me today is Andrea Ray, President and CEO of the Tacoma Pierce County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Andrea.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Well, we should have you here all the time because there's not an organization that has more to do with business in Tacoma and in this region than the Chamber.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. That's our passion.
Yeah, and you do it well. I know that, but I don't know that all of our viewers do. So tell us, what does the Chamber do?
Absolutely. So we are a nonprofit service organization, and we focus on equitable economic development and community engagement for the South Sound. We're member-driven because we are a membership organization. We have over 1,500 members, but we're also community-minded because we know how important it is to build those connections within community and business, business to business, business to government, how important that entire economic and social ecosystem is for building, again, healthy communities and thriving businesses.
And I'm not sure everyone realizes how important our businesses are to the healthy communities that we enjoy here so much. So I know you're all about relationships, advocacy, and leadership, but I'm really intrigued by how much you do to support little businesses as well as big businesses. Can you talk a little bit about Chamber programs that do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we run a number of different programs that are specifically focused on helping small businesses. So I think about our SpaceWorks program, which is a joint initiative with the City of Tacoma and the Chamber, focused exclusively on helping to support creative entrepreneurs.
People just getting started.
Well,
mostly, right?
Mostly, right? But again, we recognize if you're an artist, you're also a small business. You're just in the business of selling maybe yourself or the work that you do, that creative enterprise. And so we run accelerator and incubator programs exclusive for creative entrepreneurs. We do that through our SpaceWorks program. We also help with Artscapes, which is a program that puts artists to work, creating public art around the city of Tacoma.
In the city, so if you see really cool artwork, the Chamber's behind it.
A lot of it is, again, local artists, because it's so important that we are, again, using public art to create an amazing, welcoming space, which is so important for business and community when we talk about placemaking. We talk about, inviting people to be part of, not only our community, but our economic ecosystem, but also putting local artists to work, right? So it's about how do we create and maintain as much investment locally as possible. And so again, that's one of the things that I love about the SpaceWorks program is, again, supporting our creative economy, which was one of our fastest growing industry sectors in Washington State.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
And people may not realize that a lot of the really cool, interesting, unique businesses that so many of us love about Tacoma, to go visit them, enjoy them, and think this is part of what makes it cool. You also support those businesses.
80% of our work is business retention, right? So we want to keep businesses here and then grow businesses. And 20% is business attraction. So we are in competition all day, every day, for bringing investment and bringing business to our community.
With every other city in the state.
We have a regional mindset when we talk about, supporting, the local economy and how important the diversity of our local economy is.
That's interesting. Yeah, we have a lot of shared resources, beautiful environment, wonderful sort of people, and just a great place to be, but lots of other cities and places have that, so working together really helps make sure we all benefit.
Quality of life here, though, it's better than anywhere.
Right, and so that, we're touching on some of the grassroots, ground up sort of things the Chamber does, but you also help attract big businesses and support leadership of large corporations in a lot of ways. Can we talk a little about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So our Business Leadership Academy is a really good example of how we're helping to support professionals that are kind of in that mid-career, professional development space. Okay. So you might be a middle manager and you want to know, like, how do I take that next step in my career, right? And so we run Business Leadership Academy usually every fall to cohort of local business leaders wanting to find ways to just, create that next step. But we have so many other, programs and, committees where we gather and support business leaders. I think about our Government Affairs Committee, right? And I think about our Regional Access Mobility Partnership or our Manufacturing Industrial Council of the South Sound. So lots of different spaces and places where we are identifying where we can grow and support our local leaders, giving them the resources that they need to be successful. Again, as a service organization, we're in service, to our business. I say often, as a nonprofit, we're in business for your business.
Right.
So, really your passion is our purpose. And how do we help you be more profitable? How do we help you be more successful?
That contributes to the overall quality of life in our region.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the Manufacturing Industrial Council.
So the Manufacturing Industrial Council of the South Sound is a program of the Chamber focused on supporting our manufacturing and industrial businesses. We know that careers in manufacturing are some of the highest earning, lowest barrier jobs. And when we talk about, kind of our raison d'etre at the Chamber, which is prosperity for all, building that equitable economic development, this is a place where we can do that and do that really successfully. And it's part of the history of Tacoma, what makes Tacoma and the South Sound so important to our state economy, because we are a trade-driven state here in Washington. And in the South Sound, we have always been the makers and the movers for the state.
That's fascinating, with the port. And so another role of the Chamber is advocacy.
Yes.
So you think about all of these pieces that are moving around can be affected by state policy, what the legislature does, by federal policy. And so you focus on a lot of things. I know roads, for example, you focused a lot on highways and making sure that, I know the Chamber's been influential on that. Tell me a little bit about advocacy and how that's impacted our region, the Chamber's impact from your perspective.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think again, all politics is local. And the Chamber does advocacy and policy work at all levels of government, right? So we are very active in the city, we are very active in the state, we are very active in the federal level. And I like to say, the issues are the issues, capital T, capital H, capital E, and of course, capital T is transportation. And so, again, H, housing and healthcare, E, education and the economy and entrepreneurship. So just, for the record there. But again, transportation, we are so fortunate to have Representative Fye, who's the chair of transportation at the House, at the state level, who is a fierce advocate for infrastructure investments here in the South Sound. The Gateway Project, which finishes 167, is a good example of that, and how our RAMP, Regional Access Mobility Partnership, which is a coalition of private business and government, has worked together to both protect and preserve those investments.
So highway improvements, connections with a lot of the improvements we've seen, the Chamber's been instrumental in working with our congressional and our local state legislature, like Representative Fye, to make happen. But you also have impacts on policies that impact individual businesses. You're advocating for all of those as well.
A good example of that this year at the state legislature was some gift card legislation. So it would have impacted small businesses who give gift cards, which a lot of small businesses, give out gift cards. My dad was an independent pharmacy owner. He would have gift certificates, and people would buy them at Christmas time and things like that. And so there's a lot of businesses that do that work. This legislation would have made businesses responsible to carry cash on hand, so that businesses would have to cash out those gift cards. Again, I think about, you go to the bank at the beginning of the day, you go to the bank at the end of the day. people come in and need more gift cards. How much cash do you have on hand?
Right.
That makes it really difficult for businesses to plan.
Big impact.
A big impact. And then the state would have taken some of that unused gift card money, back to use, for the general fund.
So big impact.
So it would have been a big daily impact for businesses. Again, as well, I think it would have really hurt the, consumer as well, when you're like, are you going to buy as many gift cards if you don't know, or there's not that high level of confidence that the person you're giving that gift card to.
Amazing. Great example of all the kinds of things you do. And you also are open to members. People can join and find different ways to engage. They can build those relationships.
I mean, and we hope everyone, if you have a business in the South Sound, we would love to welcome you as a chamber member. And again, we do a lot of work to help support our local businesses, benefits, resources. You mentioned the relationship piece and how important the relationship piece is.
And your events are so much fun.
Well,
They're
thank
just
you.
plain fun. Plus, you get to engage with businesses, meet people, and help be part of that ecosystem that makes us a better place.
We try to have a good balance of, yes, your time is valuable, and we want to make sure that you enjoy your time when you're there. We also want to make sure that you're getting the impact that you want and you need from being part of our event or being part of our committee or meeting, whatever you might be attending. And that is giving really important information as well. So we hope that whenever a business comes to any one of our events, whether that be a after-hours networking event or one of our signature programs like our Horizons Economic Forecast or our Washington to Washington delegation trip, which is now in its 38th year, that they are, yes, having a good time, creating a really good positive impact, getting good information, and taking that where they can really improve and grow their business.
And it works. We can see that over time. So I just encourage all of our viewers to check you out. You have an amazing website.
Yes.
And we've learned so much today. Andrea, I thank you for being our guest on Business Matters.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, TacomaChamber.org, and happy to help. Anything that you might need as a small business owner, no matter your size, we're here. We're in service for you.
Fabulous. Thank you. Up next, Andrew Fry will address quality or quantity in business decisions.
Think about those goals, then
On this segment of Tacoma Means Business, Andrew Fry addresses head-on the question of which is better for your business, quality products and services or large quantities of both.
All right, today I want to have a difficult conversation. What's difficult? What's more important? Quality versus quantity in your business and in your product and so on. If you think about it, and from what I've looked into, some people have some pretty strong opinions. It's quality. Steve Jobs is like, I'd rather hit a home run than two singles. And I get that. But then I also think quantity, if you've been around for as long as I have, or maybe remember this, there was the big battle of the formats when we were looking at digital media between VHS and Betamax. And I can say, with certainty, Betamax was a higher quality product. And you know what people have in their garages and maybe in the back shelves in the playroom with all those tapes? VHS. VHS players for all of the tapes that they gathered and they showed their kids and bought for themselves and forgot to return to Blockbuster. So quantity won out over quality. And after thinking about it and going through it a few times over, it's pretty clear that, guess what? It's an unfair comparison, and it's all dependent upon the situation. So for quality, I will tell you, if you want to make an impact on the market, have a high quality good. Have a high quality product or service so that people will remember you and that people will come back again because they are happy customers. And they know if they want the quality that you're the person they want to come to. Well, wait a minute, I'm trying to start out in the market and I need to capture as much market share as I can. And besides, I've been told that it's important to have a minimal viable product. If it's a minimal viable product, that means the quality is good enough. And you hear that as well. Ship something when it's good enough. Sell it when it's good enough to satisfy whatever the market demand is at the time. Well, when you do that, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get out and capture the market, which means it's quantity. You need to get it out there, and you need to sell as many as you can to get your name into the market. Another issue between the two is quality is very subjective. What is quality? How do I measure whether something is really well done and is something I want to keep or come back to? And quantity, it's immeasurable. I need to sell 10,000 units in the next quarter or I can't make my payroll. That's measurable and you can handle it. So in terms of what your business is, if you're producing content online, quality versus quantity, it's probably quantity. Get it out there, get people reading what you have, and get as many viewers or listeners or readers as you can. But the quality better be good enough. That's when good enough is important. But if you want to make impact in a very certain area with your particular expertise and you want to be known for it, perhaps what you're out there to do is sort of gain a reputation as an expert. Quality. It's very much determined by what you're trying to do with your business and what your customers are expecting. So rather than tell you what's more important, quantity or quality, I'm going to ask you to reflect on what your goals are. And when you think about those goals, then you can try to balance the scales because both are important.
Thanks, Andrew. For more tips to help grow your business, check out Tacoma's Community and Economic Development Program at makeittacoma.com. When Business Matters returns, we'll step through the doors of a coffee cafe, bringing Java to a whole new level. The Hilltop is experiencing a wonderful renaissance of activity with the new Link Light Rail, new homes, and a lot of business and construction activity. The Red Elm Cafe started operations in 2017 and now has deep roots in the Hilltop community.
I'm Sophia Riley, and I'm the owner of Red Elm Cafe.
Sophia's business plan focuses on adaptability and a deep commitment to community, a philosophy grounded in welcoming customers, a key ingredient in Red Elm's formula for success.
Red Elm Cafe is meant to be a really affordable, family-friendly, just welcoming, inviting space for everyone.
Along with great coffee, delicious food, and a comfortable community spirit, Sophia's staff are one of the reasons customers keep coming back, even during times when it's hard to find good employees.
Actually, most of the people who work here were customers here. And so really it is, I really love that about this place, that the people who come here all the time see that we're having a good time, we're enjoying it, they enjoy being here, and then they decide they want to be a part of it.
Red Elm welcomes anyone wanting a good cup of coffee. While Sophia's customer base is from the community, everyone appreciates the open atmosphere. It's a welcoming place to sip a cup of joe, read, or even work remotely. In an age where phones and computers are sources for news and events, the Red Elm's old-fashioned community bulletin board draws organizations, community, and even Sophia herself into what's happening in the Hilltop.
People are coming here and asking me, what's going on this weekend? And there's always something on our community board. People bring in posters. If it's an event, we leave it up until the event is over. Sometimes it's just posters for educational purposes or just kind of awareness, getting word out. We leave those up for about a month, and I even attend a lot of these. This is how I find out about what's going on in Tacoma, because people bring me all those events right in here.
In the far back of the building is an open conference room. Sophia invites businesses, organizations, even kids' birthday parties to use the space for private events.
We don't charge for the room. We just expect that people who are using it will be buying food and drink while they're here.
If you look around in any direction, Red Elm's brick walls are adorned with original artwork made by local artists.
It's all local community, like Tacoma artists that we have on the walls. They get 2 months of time with their art on the walls. I don't really do much with it. I don't charge a commission for them to put their art here, but I also don't manage their sales. So I give them a space, and then the customers will talk to artists and they arrange for their own sale of art.
When asked why she chose Tacoma to plant her business, Sophia is passionate about her support for her city, professionally and privately.
I love Tacoma. I went to the University of Puget Sound and just fell in love with the place. And so as soon as I got an opportunity, I moved here with my family. I think Tacoma is just a really great place to live, and it's a really great place to be a kid. And so I was looking for somewhere that was walkable. I enjoy just being able to walk around, and I don't want to rely on a car. I want to be able to use public transit. And Tacoma is just gorgeous. I like looking at all the houses, and there's always just beautiful trees in people's gardens, and people are friendly, and they're all out and about, no matter the weather. And I just really love that about it.
As commerce has grown in the Hilltop, Sophia has noticed an important development with many of her neighboring businesses.
This particular neighborhood, and honestly this particular block, there are so many of us here who own businesses that are women of color. And it's just a really cool community to be a part of.
The future of Red Elm Cafe will highlight Sophia's creativity and energy as she works to make the coffee shop even more inviting. This includes the possibility of later hours and, always, maintaining a rooted community focus.
I'd love to do sort of more community involvement, and to me that means things like events and after hours things, you know, poetry readings or music nights, things like that, and just opening up this space into the evenings and nighttime, because I think that there's a big need for third spaces for after hours. Hilltop has come such a long way, and I'm just really excited to be a part of it.
That's it for Business Matters. Join me next time for more insight into the Tacoma business scene. See you then.